שלום לכולם וברוכים הבאים לשיעור העברית הרביעי.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, Alex, מה נשמע? שלום עליכם, Alex. It's good to be here at the Western Wall, one of the holiest sites of the Jewish people. The one and only, maybe. Temple Mount is right there, and it's pretty holy too. We've been involved together for years. The connection started before the war.
Yes,
When
long before the war.
Yeah, long before the war, when you and Patrick came on Erev Shabbat to the Golan Heights, and we spoke about the collaboration to bring Mashiach and so on. So what can you tell me about those initial steps to connect the 12 tribes kingdom, the lost tribes of Israel, those who are God-fearing people trying to serve Hashem, to bring them closer to the Geula and closer to these kind of things?
I think we made a lot of progress because when we first met, this was only a 10-day journey to Israel. It was Patrick and my first journey to Israel. And then because of the persecution in Germany, we kind of decided to move to Israel, and we wanted actually to have a headquarter of the Sanhedrin Initiative, and me as part of the Prime Media Truth should support and film the Sanhedrin Initiative and all the steps. But then Yosef had this brilliant idea to call it the Golan Nation of Ephraim Embassy. So, and we took this name, and since then we met a lot of people. We met a lot of companies, different companies. We have David Ziebel with the whiskey, and now he has a cafe. And we were in the oil factory in Katzrin. We visited also some guy that is planting trees, and we visited ancient Shiloh. We visited a lot of
The Paraduma place.
yes, exactly. We visited a lot of guys and reported about this, and it was, I think, really good time.
And as far as the Sanhedrin Initiative, I can say that there's been many organizations that have aligned with us on one level or another, but in the day-to-day, in the embassy, we're able to laser in and focus on meeting different rabbis. We're holding now 31 out of 70 Sanhedrin judges and advisors, which is a crazy number.
How much has it been when we met the first time? You know that?
Maybe 15,
15.
something
So
like that. So we doubled the numbers. We raised thousands of euros. And
with the help of the EFIs.
With the help of the
mainly.
Nation of Ephraim, and we raised thousands of temple coins from templecoin.org, from Hannes, and that collaboration. So definitely a lot of different things, pieces of the puzzle coming together, including recently this Chag HaSukkot. We had a very important Zoom call with a lot of the secular, God-fearing community in Israel. A lot of them have different ideas of what they think the Geula is, but they're ready to align to have that unified vision, and the unity itself is a special piece of the puzzle here. The whole point of the Sanhedrin, of course, as we're learning, is all about unity and humility in front of Hashem in order to be humble before Hashem, and that's the first step in the dominoes towards crowning a king, eradication of Amalek, and building the temple. So you guys have been involved very seriously. We've made some videos of the shofar or the Sanhedrin flag and all kinds of different little gimmicks. Whatever, everything adds up at the end of the day to the greater picture, which is Achdus and Am Yisrael, and unity, and to remember that in Eretz Yisrael, Hashem is the king and the Torah is the law. And that we need to truly understand that without, if there's a place where there's no one being a man, you have to try to be a man. So we're nothing compared to the high level of the ancient Sanhedrin. But
That's why we're an initiative.
Yeah, well, just the initiative, education, and whatever. And of course, at the right time, the true leaders of Am Yisrael will understand what we're doing and will take part and take their place. And in the meantime, we're creating education, we're creating a unity, we're creating Achdus and Am Yisrael. We have connections with the right-wing government. Tomorrow we have a meeting with more political parties on the right wing. We're going to create... Tomorrow, yeah. We're going to continue to build. It's not that we're creating. We already have connections with 70% of the right-wing groups in the politics in Israel, some of them more active than others. But we're going to create the Gush Emuni, the believers block. And if they all connect properly with protocols to the rabbis, so then it means that whatever legislation is going to happen in Israel is going to happen through the Torah law. So definitely a lot of exciting things. But Alex, what do you think is, throughout this whole process, what do you think crystallized your understanding or more clarity from when you came here until where we are today? Because it's been a couple years,
Yes, so one big thing that for me was a big difference than in Germany was the hostility of the Jews, the hospitality, of course.
Wait a minute, because they don't know who you are and you guys are not exactly Jews, so they don't know. Oh, okay.
The hospitality of the Jews. I first kind of saw when we met Yosef itself. We were strangers, so he was a stranger to us, but he invited us to his house, even gave us a shower, each of us. No gas.
Germans got a shower from the Jews. You see how the tables have turned.
Yeah. And then when the war started, this was 1 year later, we saw that all the people of Israel kind of stuck together, because before this there was the big reform in the justice system.
Yeah.
But today, 2 days later, you don't hear anything of this anymore. But the Jews itself were kind of extremely split to the right, to the religious, to the left, to the non-religious. And I think this is also a process that he said he's not also connecting Orthodox Jewish groups, but also secular groups, because they also kind of belong together. And when the war started, everyone was taking their part. The army, of course, they had to fight, but you saw that...
the citizens.
Yeah, the citizens, many families, the women, they made food, they gave it to the soldiers, and also we went on a tour, and we bought a lot of water, brought it to the soldiers, and a lot of them, when we wanted to give them food, they already so full of food, because everyone just stand next to the soldier and said, can I support you? So the support in this situation, I never think this is compared to anything else in the world was extremely So the other thing is that, like always, someone needs some money and doesn't care if you're making something, he just interrupts and wants to get your money. But this is also lifestyle. And another thing, the Israelis, for me, they are kind of they are really rough people, so to say. They have a
stiff neck, like the Torah says.
Yes, stiff neck also. But they have a rough mentality. They are very direct. And when you're German, everything kind of is ordered. But today, in such an expand that they build the laws, they're just crazy. So
it's too hard to work anymore.
Yeah, it's too hard to work.
The legislation is too strong. Yeah.
So this is also some problems that Israel adopt from the Germans. They should have adopted how to build houses in a good way and how to make things in a good way, not just
bureaucracy.
Yeah, but they took the bad things from the Germans. So what?
Well, the Torah tells us, "Lo telchu b'chukot hagoyim." We should not go in the ways of the nations. But unfortunately, the nature of a Yid is that he's baishanim, rachmanim, gomle chasadim. He's embarrassed and he wants everyone to feel at home. So much so that he learns from the nation sometimes. But we have to remember that we're b'nei b'chori Israel. We're the firstborn of Hashem. Israel is the firstborn child of Hashem. All of Am Yisrael is called b'nei b'chori Israel. And if we're the firstborn, then the firstborn has to have pride, and he has to be proud of who he is and what he is. He doesn't have to hide, he doesn't have to be embarrassed, he doesn't have to excuse himself. The whole laws of making a king in the first place is, oh, you want to be like the nations? Okay. So now you want to be like the nations, so then you should make a king. But this king should be under Hashem, because really Hashem is the king. So if you want to be like the nations, at least have your king be teaching the Torah, and he should just be a representative of Hashem. So if you want to have a king, it's because you have low self-esteem, because truly Hashem has to be the king. And we say that, like we spoke about in the meeting also, Vataki haaretz et yoshveha, if Am Yisrael doesn't take Hashem seriously, and this goes for everybody, you know, the religious need to know that behind here needs to be a Beis HaMikdash. And that's, if we're here for 70 years and there's no Beis HaMikdash, then what are we doing? We're eating kugel, but we're not. Where's the Beis HaMikdash? And the left have to know that if it's all about love your fellow as yourself, so then they have to lead by example. They have to respect and love their fellow religious Jews and not want to bite them like Rabbi Akiva before he learned Torah. He wanted to bite the religious Jews like a donkey. You know, the Talmud says, why like a donkey? He says, a dog, he can bite you, but he lets go. A donkey, when he bites, he doesn't let go till he cracks the bone. So Rabbi Akiva had such a hatred to the sages before he studied Torah that he only wanted negative for them. So we have to overcome these things. And this is why when we're going from the 87 mitzvot all the way into the 613, this is something we speak about almost every day, we have to understand that achdus, avat chinam, kavod ze lazeh, respect one another, love your fellow as yourself, and have humility before Hashem. This is the number one rule. This is the Sanhedrin. When you have Chabad, Breslev, Satmar, Bobov, all the different kinds of krais and all the different kinds of groups in Am Yisrael, as long as they're ready to be submissive to halacha, to Shulchan Aruch, to Torah, that should be the common denominator. It doesn't matter if one guy comes with a shtreimel or one guy comes with a hat, it doesn't matter. So hopefully that we're going to see that more and more. Alex, what do you have to say to our friends in Germany, the guys who have supported the Nation of Ephraim and the Sanhedrin Initiative? How do you feel that their contribution in Eretz Yisrael has been for us?
I think it was very supportive. Of course, it was very supportive, and we can thank to every one of you out there in every corner of the world, because without your support we would not have come so far as we came. And but really honestly, I think it's still a long way, because we've been here 2 years, but for me this 2 years living in Israel and learning about the Jews from face to face, and not just reading about them or hearing about them, but really living among them, also showed me that the differences between the
narrative on the news.
No, the differences between the Jewish people, especially the Orthodox Jewish people, and the lost tribes are kind of really, really big. And I think there has to be kind of a big miracle or something
To close the gap.
big has to happen, because if we just continue as we did the last 2 years, it will take a long, long, long time to really have this achdus he was talking about, this real unity. Because one thing to say, okay, we need the unity within the Jewish people, and this is also something that has to progress. But to say the Jewish people with all the tribes that are scattered and all over the place, this is an even more big goal to achieve. And but I think we've come very far. And we will meet Avi in some minutes, and he also told me from his experience that this whole topic with the tribes are coming back is also within the Orthodox Jewish religion, it's also in Israel, it's also in the politics, so this topic is like a do, you know, like
Yeah.
like the chametz,
Undertones. The yeast.
the yeast, you know.
Rising.
It's rising and rising and rising, and that we will come to that point that you cannot not talk about the tribes anymore because it's become too public. And I think the same thing will happen also with the whole Sanhedrin thing, because there are many politicians that are talking about the Sanhedrin. There are many Jews that are talking about the Sanhedrin, and I think every day we go on,
Closer.
and what the war also has showed that we had really big wins. You know, we kind of defeated Lebanon, we kind of defeated Iran, but there's still right now some rumors that Iran had a lot of rockets they want to throw on Israel, and Lebanon is kind of, they're preparing for war, at least the Hezbollah. So Israel is always doing a great job. They did a great job with the Patriots. They did a great job with the Iran. They did really a great job, but they never just finished the job. And we have a lot of Israeli soldiers that stand in the line and they fight and they want to win. They want to fight. But the politicians are kind of always in the way, and sometimes it's even the politicians from America that prevent Israel from actually really winning the fight and defeating Hamas, defeating Iran and defeating Hezbollah. And so now we have this big discussion of the yeshiva students joining the army, where you say, okay, on one hand, if the politicians will not let the soldiers that already are fighting win the war, so how would this change if we add some yeshiva students to the battlefield?
Right. So this is a lot of the topics that you're speaking about, including the hostages and including the kind of negotiations. These are topics that have Torah implications in halakha, and we've always tried with our rabbis to let the Knesset members know what the halakha is, so that at least if they want to keep the Torah, they should have the option in the political sphere. And this is active pikuach nefesh things. In other words, this is things that have real implications, pikuach nefesh implications. You know, just now in the last negotiation, we had 2,000 Palestinians, what they call released from jail, and 350 convicted murderers released as part of the last negotiation. And this just brings us back to the fact that if we don't have Mechias Amalek in a pure way, according to Torah, you're just going to get round 2, round 3, round 4, because unfortunately, I don't know why, but Hashem is making it in such a way that if you don't do it the way Hashem says, He never lets you do it any other way. So Hashem is always leaving, or you know, that's what it looks like. Hashem is always leaving. Oh, you want to do Mechias Amalek? First crown a king, first put together the Sanhedrin, first start thinking about building the Beis HaMikdash. Otherwise, you're just going to do one round, round 2, round 3, round 4. And truly, we have to realize that Hashem is king and the Torah is the law. There's no other way that I see it in Eretz Yisrael. If somebody likes to go in the ways of the nations, you can go anywhere else in the world. Your fight doesn't have to be with your fellow Jews that want to keep the Torah, or your fellow God-fearing people that want to keep the Torah in Eretz Yisrael. And it's not a racist thing. It's just a fact. We just came back from 2,000 years of exile. For those who don't think that Hashem can throw us out for not keeping the Torah, we just got back here from 2,000 years. Our DNA is still shaking from 2,000 years of trauma from the exile, and hopefully we'll be able to overcome this subconscious amongst the children of Israel, the Jewish people, and maybe that's exactly where the lost tribes come in, because they're like, hey, we didn't have the trauma so much. We've been lost since 2,000 years ago. So maybe they can actually encourage us and give us an update. They say, you guys are millions of religious Jews keeping the Torah. You have hundreds of thousands of Torah scholars. What's stopping you from actually doing what the prophecy is telling you?
Yeah.
You have to fulfill the prophecy, and we said this lately in the meetings. Zionism is like the flower that's saving the Jewish body, and the kingdom of heaven, Malchut Shamayim, is the fruit that comes out. So saving the body is important, and of course after the Holocaust it's very important to focus on that, and it's still important today. But it's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is that we have prophecy to fulfill. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah udvar Hashem Yerushalayim. We have a redemption to fulfill. Islam and Christianity are kind of built, without saying it, they're based on Yiddishkeit. So they're waiting for us to fulfill prophecy so that everyone should have a redemption life. So, Alex, closing statement.
Yeah, we see in the war, also in the politics, we see always a rising of the anti-Semitism. But the things that no one tells you is that we also have a rising of people that connect to Israel, that people have a drive to learn Torah, that people want to connect to Jews, to learn about Jews, who Jews really are. So in this reality, opposite to the anti-Semitism rise, no one tells you, but this is exactly the point, that the people from the nations that are waking up, that have no Jewish roots, no Jewish tradition, no Jewish history, they're just waking up and they are like pure babies. They are pure babies, they have no trauma, they also have no experience, but they also have no trauma, so this is a good thing. And I think these people and also all the rabbis, they see that a lot of non-Jews join their shiurs and ask them questions and connect, so this phenomena is seen by a lot of rabbis, and I think the non-Jewish individuals that are waking up, that are part of Israel, can also push and motivate the Jewish people to do even more and to focus on the actions we right now really need to bring the Geulah. Like it says in the verse that I will awake a non people, and they will rise your envy. Your envy in kind of that sense. So, and I think we're coming closer. And like he said, the thing is, if we don't keep the Torah in the land, we will get another round and another round and another round. It will not stop until we do it the right way.
100%. All right, so with that, we'll close, guys. For those who want to learn more about what we're doing, you can check mnglobal.org, zion577.com, templecoin.org, and on those websites you'll see links to our other groups and other communities as well. And those who want to support us, bevakasha. Those who are already supporting us, toda rabah, keep doing it. And hopefully, really, we'll arrive at a place where millions of people are supporting Am Yisrael in the Geula narrative and in following the law and what the Torah says exactly, by the book, the halacha, and so on, and literally going step by step, just like keeping Shabbat is a mitzvah, so too establishing judges and police in your gates is a mitzvah. Crowning a king is a mitzvah. Eradication of Amalek is a mitzvah. Whenever you have something valuable, you always have something that wants to destroy it, that we spoke about today earlier. You have the field, and then you have the weeds, and you have the animals, you have the pig that wants to destroy the whole crops. So whenever there's something of value, there's always going to be someone who wants to destroy it. So eradication of Amalek is not out of evil of the Jews, it's out of necessity to preserve life. It's coming from the other way around. And the same thing we spoke about, karbanot, sacrifice. It's because of the sanctity of life that we sacrifice animals. And so with that, Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll have better days. And we'd like to hear you guys in the comments. Anybody that has any ideas how to bring Mashiach, we're all ears.